Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia Hall, and I will be your professor for the spring 2026 semester. I just want to start by saying this video is a little longer than normal because it's the week one of the semester and I have so much information to give you. But generally speaking, I try to keep the videos to about 5 minutes, and they're usually very like content based about the assignments and expectations and things like that. But I just wanted to tell you a little about me and walk you through the Blackboard shell just to familiarize yourself with everything and to make sure you guys feel comfortable with, I guess, the rhythm of the class and the syllabi and that all the expectations that I'm going to walk you through. So I'll just start with a little bit about myself. This year I've been teaching for 20 years. You'll see a little bit more in my introduction when you guys post your own. So you can see here my family that I had mentioned. My dog, he's right behind me. He's sleeping in a deep sleep right now. Um, and my cat. And these are the other things I had mentioned before. But I know people are usually a little curious about your professor, and if we were in person, I'm sure we would have lots of conversations. But just remember, I'm always around, so um, please email me or leave a voicemail if you guys have questions about anything as I'm walking through this and as you're going through the video. All right, so let's get to our class. So I'm skipping a couple steps because, and now, oh, there it is. I like lost the class for a second. Because I'm assuming you already have navigated through this in order to access the video. But this is an important page. If you're taking a college career success class, they really do walk you through all this information. But for this class, checking your college email is super important. And of course, Blackboard is very important. Okay. So when you come into the class, you'll see this is just the general announcement, but this is what you're normally going to see. It'll say, welcome to week one, week two, week three. And it's basically a to do list. And I keep it numbered and in the hopes that this helps you stay organized. So if you have completed all of this for the week, then you're good. So these will come out every Sunday. Some of the work is due on Wednesday, and most of the work is due on Sunday. I put a lot of due dates on here, lots of like reminders to help keep you organized. So and I know you've already seen this, but in the course content folder, all your work will always be in the folders. Okay. But one of your assignments this week is the discussion board. So I do like to walk students through this in case you've never done it before. So I don't do a discussion board every week, but we will be doing them often. So when you see it for this week, you just have introductions, and I've listed some questions here that you guys can respond to if you like. So in order to respond, you just click on this. You'll see mine is in here already, so you can click on that, read mine. You can reply. You don't have to reply. For this week, you classmate replies are not an obligation, but please feel free to go read through all of those and greet your classmates since we will be working together the whole semester. All right. So when you want to do your own reply, you click on Create Thread. You can just put your name here if you like. Okay. And then type up in this box, type up your responses, click Submit, and your name will when you after you do that your name will appear here and you'll see everyone all the your classmates names here as well, and then that it went through, that you were successful in submitting. So for this particular introduction, you will see all of your classmates names here unless of course you're the first to reply. But in going forward, there will be times where you're not going to see anyone's replies to the post until you reply. And that's just so you're not influenced by one another and you can try to put down like your original thought, because sometimes that happens. So don't be surprised. And I'll indicate that on the announcements page if I have set it up that week like that. All right. So let me get back here. Okay. So we talked about the week one folder. We talked about the discussion board. And now I'd like to discuss some of the other assignments that you'll be submitting into week one. And just like a few recommendations, errors from the past that I like to help students avoid. So when you have a smaller assignment like this is just 6 questions. You can just click on this. You can keep it simple and you can just do your work in here, type it up and click submit. There's just something I do want to warn you about is if you take a long break, um, get a coffee, and you come back to your computer, you might want to check that you're still signed in. So if you come here and you're logged out, your work's not going to come through. So you might type this all up, click submit, and then it just disappears, which I've done, as a professor, loading up material and things like that. It's frustrating. So just always make sure you're logged in so you don't miss any work. Okay. So when you click submit, you'll see a purple bar and it usually says like success, you've submitted correctly. So what you see is what I see. So if it comes up blank, it means that I'm not going to see it either. There are some, I'm going to get into this in about a second, but the apps like Notes, I believe, a couple other apps on your phone that are not very compatible with Blackboard. So it just might not come through on my end, but I'll reach out to you. I'll let you know, especially in week one. Don't panic. I'm really going to try to, help you get comfortable with everything and get you situated about what's best to use. So let me go back here real quick. You have another assignment. This one's a little bit larger. So maybe you don't want to do the create submission. So for longer assignments, I like to go into the Word app. So if you're fresh out of high school, you might be really comfortable with Google Docs, but the truth is we always try to break students of using Google Docs, only because I mean my kids use it, but only because for Blackboard you have all of this built into your email account, and it's all in one location. It's just easier to just learn it. The sooner the better. So when you guys are in your email, you see these little dots up here. You're going to see you have a free account to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of this information. So I like to do a lot of my work out of the Word app. So you just create a blank document. I recommend giving it a title always so you can locate it more easily when it comes time to submit. But this is my recommendation for doing your work and just keeping everything in one location. All right. So let me just go back here real quick. All right. When if you choose to use the Word app, you're going to upload that. So all of your information would be under the cloud service, and then you would click on the OneDrive. So the OneDrive is that keeps all of your information, your college information in one location, whether it's PowerPoint, Excel, all of that will be there. So that's where you would locate that. Okay. Once you see it uploaded, you just click submit. And again, you'll see the purple box that says success. You'll see the assignment. So just a reminder, what you see is what I see. And I've also set the assignments up. If you make a mistake by accident or you submit in the wrong location, you can submit 3 times. So you can just keep trying, go back at it. You can email me if you think, you messed up. I'm never going to penalize a student for, a little technological mistake. So, just keep that in mind. Those are your options for submitting. And of course, if you have the Microsoft Office on your laptop, feel free to use that too. All right. So let me just make sure we talked about the course syllabus. Okay, so you see these questions here. So in order to answer these, you're going to jump over here. You'll see this here. We'll open it up. Just being a little slow. There it is. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Okay. So this document has a lot of information, and this is going to help you answer those questions. So, as I mentioned before, my on the weekly announcements, I do use my email. I list my email address every time, just so you can locate it easily. My office number is here. I'm not always in my office because, most of the time I'm in another classroom teaching. But if you want me to see your question or your or any concerns that you have, email is best because I'll see it right away. Okay? So for that particular assignment, you're going to go through all this. You'll see the course description. I'll walk you through a little bit more. Materials, the good news about this class, there is no textbook required. You don't have to buy anything. Everything will be in your weekly course folders for you. Okay? So you guys can go through this at your leisure when you have time, but I do want to make a comment about the evaluation and grading section because I think it's really important. So in order to pass this class, you need a C minus, which is technically a 70, 71, and a 72, I believe. Actually, it's right here. Yeah. So in order to move on to composition 1010, that's the grade you'll need. And this is how I'm going to go about grading you and what your assignments will look like. So we've got our online discussions. We're going to be doing 2 essays for the entire semester, general homework, a self-assessment, and a critical reading assessment. That will be for the midterm. But you'll see everything is weighted very equally, 20%, 20%, 20%. And the purpose of this is to make sure that no one particular assignment tanks your grade. And, down the road, you might have a class where, you have one particular test, weighted at 50% of your grade, which can really make or break you. And I don't want that happening in this class. So I really try to keep this all balanced. So in terms of homework, I understand work comes up if you have kids or you're sick and you might miss some assignments, but you're going to want to get those assignments to me within a week. After that, I don't accept it. If they're late, it's like a 2% deduction, which really does not do much to your grade. But if you are late every single week, it does start to have an impact. So try to be careful with that and just reach out to me. But just keep that in mind. After 1 week, you'll see the assignments disappear off the Blackboard shell. Okay. So all those questions in the week 1 folder, the syllabus questions, you'll find here. So scroll through this. I don't expect you to read every single word, but just scan some of this really important information that you need throughout the semester. Class cancellations for an online class, we don't have to discuss that because the snow is not going to impact us. Okay, so let me get out of here. Let me just get back into the announcements and I'll let you guys go. So just as I mentioned before, you'll always see this down below. That is the fastest way to get a hold of me. And you'll see that nothing is due until February 1st because you have early access. If you're watching this video now on Friday the 16th, you're way ahead of the game. You can start working. You certainly don't have to, but I think it helps to have early access just so you can familiarize yourself with everything. And while you do that, if you have questions, email me anytime and I'd be happy to meet with you or get back to you. I'm pretty quick with email. One other thing in terms of grading and feedback, I try to, and I'm pretty good about this. I will get all your work back to you within a week. That's always my goal, and I'm usually capable of doing that. Okay. So I look forward to this semester. I think it's going to be a good one. And again, just reach out with any questions. Take care.